So if there's
Hi,
anybody,
Lisa Johnson. Put your microphone on, Lisa.
And Ken and Teresa,
Lisa, you're
and
muted.
Ryan.
I know.
Okay, so Lisa, did you get the email from Raincross?
I didn't.
Okay, I'll send you an email. Would you mind doing a couple of virtual things? Blades of Grass and the Ground?
Maybe.
It would be wonderful. I'll send it to you.
Okay.
They're both very nice, Lisa.
Oh, I love the ground.
And Blades of Grass is easy. It's a piece of cake.
Cool.
Hi to Bob and everybody at Riverside.
Hi.
Hello.
Who's that?
This is Florida.
Who's talking? Kay and Mike Vesey in
Oh,
Florida.
from Florida.
Hey,
That's
Hi.
great. Where are you?
So nice that you keep coming to services.
There
Lisa's
you
only
are.
9:30.
Hi, Kay. Hi, Mike.
Hi.
This is only 9:30. Hello, Maris.
Yes,
These
9:30.
has the
Kay.
backgrounds.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, Kay.
Hi. Hi.
Okay, we'll give it another minute or so. Then we will get started.
Hi, Morris. Rabbi, did you say you're going live on Facebook?
Or is it?
Hey. Mimi.
Rabbi, did you say you're going live on Facebook?
We are live on
We already are.
YouTube.
On YouTube. Oh, okay.
We already are.
We're live because some people have a hard time with Zoom or whatever. One person's watching right now. But sometimes, and I record everything and it's up on our channel, and a lot of people watch later.
Yeah, we have watched on YouTube. I thought you said Facebook, so I was going to share that, but I see.
Yeah, no, I think you can only do one or the other.
Okay, got it.
Marilyn, you got a really good microphone there.
Yeah, because Big Jim brought down the Big Kahuna microphone.
And I also installed a special program. So.
Can you guys see me if I stand up?
Oh, the volume is quite impressive.
My face.
Yes, it's
no.
It's called Equalizer APO, and then there's a something called Peace App. So
you're definitely well heard.
Okay, I'm going to ask to have everybody mute themselves, please.
We are muted.
Great. So Shabbat Shalom and Chag Sameach. Today ends our festival of Sukkot. So it's my last few moments in my sukkah. And we begin the holiday of Simchat Torah. And we begin with a happy song by Cantor Bob. Hey. And to light our candles. Lori Magnus is going to light them and lead us in the blessing. Lori, you're muted.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivonu lehanik ner shel Shabbat v'shel shelvei Yom Tov.
Amen.
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 Cantor Bob is going to lead us in the Kiddush.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei b'ri hagafen. Next slide. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher b'chavanu mikol ha'am v'romamanu mikol ha'shon v'kiddishanu b'mitzvotav v'titen lanu Adonai Eloheinu b'ahava Shabbatot l'mnucha u'moadim l'simcha chagim u'zmanim l'sason את יום השבת הזה ואת יום השמיני חג עצרת הזה זמן שמחתנו מקרא קודש החל יציאת מצרים כי בנו בחרת ואותנו קידשת מכל העמים בשבת ומועדי קודשך באהבה ורצון, בשמחה וששון, הנחלתנו. ברוך אתה אדוני, מקדש השבת וישראל והזמנים.
We continue with the Shechecheyanu.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה. אמן. L'chaim, Simchat Torah.
Say the Shechecheyanu for festivals and special occasions. So Simchat Torah is truly a joyous time. We sing and dance. We carry flags. We march around the synagogue in honor of the Torah, our most precious possession. And tonight we will do a virtual hakafa around the Torah, around the sanctuary. Simchat Torah is a wedding service between our people and our Torah. We read the Torah's last words and immediately turn to read the first words. Be part of this never-ending circle of reading and study. Be part of the family that has married Torah with joyful love. And we continue with Elech Hamda Libi.
Hamda libi, Hosanna v'yona titalem. Eilech 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 hamda libi, Hosanna ve'ana 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 titalem. Eilech hamda libi husana ve amna titalem. Hamda libi husana ve amna titalem. Hey le hamda libi husana ve amna titalem.
We continue with the Hatzi Kaddish.
Yitgadal v'yitkadash Shemei Rabbah V'yalma livrach irutei V'yamlich malchutei V'chayechon v'yomechon V'chayrech al Beit Yisrael Bagola ובזמן הקריב ויאמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מבורך לעולם ולעולמי עמיה יתברך וישתבח ויתבר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתעלה שמי דקודשה בריחו לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה דמירן בעלמה ויאמרו אמן.
Our call to worship, the Baruch Hu, which leads right into our blessing about creation.
becomes day, day turns to night, roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night, roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night, roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night. Roll into dark, roll into light. Comes day, day turns to night. Roll into dark, roll into light. Comes day, day turns to night.
Why are the words of Torah like fire? As fire from a single flame kindles many flames, so each word of Torah kindles many minds, enlightens many hearts. Torah gives light to all who make use of its bright and shining flame. The Torah is God's great gift to the house of Israel. Israel without Torah is like a body without a soul. Like water, it cleanses and is refreshing. Like wine, it gladdens the heart. Like a crown, it raises us high, higher than the throne of kings and queens. When Torah entered the world, freedom entered it. The whole Torah exists only to establish peace. The gift of Torah was given to us by love, by God, Ahavat Olam.
Ahavat Olam Beit Yisrael Amecha Ahavta Torah u'mitzvot Hukim u'mishpatim Otanu lemadeta Halkein Adonai Eloheinu B'shachbeinu v'kumeinu nasiach b'chukecha v'nismach b'divrei Toratecha u'b'mitzvotecha la'olam va'ed ki hem chayenu ואורך אורך ימינו ובהם נגע יומם ולילה. Missed a word.
Continue with the Shema.
La
Carol Lee, will you lead us in the Ve'ahavta?
Yes, everybody sing along, please. V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol lebavcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'odecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ela asher Anochi mitzavcha hayom al bavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shiftecha b'beitecha uv'lechtecha b'derech uv'shochbecha uv'kumecha וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים, אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Thank you, Carol Lee.
My pleasure.
When you walk, these mitzvot shall lead you. When you lie down, they shall keep you safe. They shall be with you when you wake up. For the commandment is a lamp, and the Torah is light. Torah is light. In the house of bondage, it gave us hope and showed us the way to freedom. Torah is light, the light of our prophets, the light of our teachers. Torah is light. It showed us our way in the wilderness and led us to the land of promise. Torah is light, the light of our poets, the wisdom of our people. We inscribe its words on parchment for all the people to learn. We take it into our hearts to do as we have learned. Torah is light for all the world to show its people the way to freedom. They will give thanks as did our people at the Sea of Reeds. Miriam led them, and all Israel broke out in song, the Milchamocha.
Die 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 yada die die bim bam die 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 yada die die bim bam die 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 yada die die bim bam die 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 yada die die bim bam Mi kamocha boy Madonai Mi kamocha Netor bakodesh Norati lo seifele Norati lo seifele Yalai 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 bimban Yalai 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 bimban Yalai 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 bimban Yalai 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 bimban All kutecha rauvanecha Okay ayam nipnei Moshe Se'eli anu ve'amru Adonai yimloch l'olam va'ed Yalai 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 bimban Yalai 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 bimban Yalai yalai bimban Yalai yalai bimban Mi kamocha bodim Madonai Mi kamocha Nedor bakodesh Norati lo seifele Norati lo seifele Yalai yalai bimban Die, 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 bim bam. Die, 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 bim bam. Die, 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 bim bam.
What is Torah? Love your neighbor as yourself. What is mitzvah? Do justly, love mercy, walk humbly before God. What is Torah? Depart from evil and do good. Be just and do what is right. Do not insult the deaf or place a stumbling block before the blind. The world is sustained by three things: by truth, by justice, and by peace. The world depends on three things: on Torah, on service, and on loving deeds. What is the way of Torah? Its ways are ways of pleasantness. All its paths are peace. We continue with the tefillah.
Adonai Sifatai, Sifatai Tiftach, Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha. Adonai Sifatai, Sifatai Tiftach, Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu v'Emotenu, Elohei Abraham Elohei Yitzchak v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Yisachar v'Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel v'Elohei Leah. Ha'oel ha'gadol ha'gibor v'hanora El Elyon, Gomel chasadim tovim v'gonei Yaakov, v'zocher chasdei avot v'imaot, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני מגן אברהם בעזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם, הרמך כל אתה רב להושיע, משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם, מכלכל חיים בחסד, בחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בגבורות ומידו מלך, מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה לחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקודשים בך יום יעללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
A moment now for silent prayer. We conclude the Amidah with a song for peace.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amecha, tasim laolam shalom rav HaYisrael Amecha tasim laolam ki ata hu melech adon lechol hashalom ki ata hu melech adon lechol hashalom v'tov b'einecha levarech et amecha Yisrael b'chol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. ברוך אתה אדוני עושה שלום.
We continue with the Torah service. And tonight we are going to do our best to simulate the Hakafah going around the sanctuary with the Torah and unfurling it. So it's an upbeat, fun video. Hope you enjoy it. And that will be followed by Carol Lee giving us a test and our various Torah chanters. So please enjoy.
כי מציון תצא תורה, כי מציון תצא תורה, ודבר אדוני מירושלים, ברוך שנתן תורה, תורה, ברוך שנתן תורה, תורה, לעמו ישראל בקדושתו. שמע ישראל, אדוני אלוהינו, אדוני אחד. אחד אלוהינו, גדול אדוננו, קדוש ונורא שמו. גדול אדוני איתי, ונרוממה שמו יחדיו. Adonai Hoshiana, Ana Adonai Hatzlichana, Ana Adonai Anenu, Anenu, B'yom B'yom Kareinu, Anenu, Anenu, B'yom B'yom Kareinu, Anenu, Anenu, B'yom B'yom Kareinu, Anenu, Anenu, B'yom B'yom Kareinu. Torah, 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 Tziva Lanu Moshe. Torah, 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 Tziva Lanu Moshe. Torah, 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 Tziva Lanu Moshe. Torah, 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 Tziva Lanu Moshe. Torah, 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 Tziva Lanu Moshe. Torah, 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 Tziva Lanu Moshe. Torah, 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 Tziva Lanu Moshe. Torah, 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 Tziva Lanu Moshe.
בששון, ממעייני הישועה, שפכי מים בששון, ממעייני הישועה, מים, 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 במים בששון, מים, 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 במים בששון, היי, 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 מים, 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 מים בששון, מים, 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 מים בששון, שפכי מים בששון, ממעייני הישועה, שפכי מים בששון, ממעייני הישועה, מים, 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 במים בששון, מים, 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 במים בששון, היי, 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 מים, 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 מים בששון, מים, 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 מים בששון.
רוממו אדוני אלוהינו והשתחוו להר קדשו. רוממו אדוני אלוהינו והשתחוו להר קדשו. כי קדוש אדוני אלוהינו רוממו. כי קדוש אדוני אלוהינו רוממו. רוממו אדוני אלוהינו והשתחוו להר קדשו. רוממו אדוני אלוהינו והשתחוו להר קדשו. כי קדוש אדוני אלוהינו רוממו. כי קדוש אדוני אלוהינו רוממו. רוממו אדוני אלוהינו והשתחוו להר קדשו. רוממו אדוני אלוהינו והשתחוו להר קדשו.
Carolee is going to give us a test on the Torah.
Yes, I am. And when you know the answer, unmute yourself, please. First of all, what are the 5 books of the Torah in Hebrew? Who
Ooh.
knows even the first one? Unmute yourself and tell me. Oh, come on, guys.
Come on, everybody, you know.
Oh, I know you know it, Bob.
Bereshit.
Yeah,
What? Say it louder.
Bereshit.
Absolutely.
very good.
Very good. What's the second book?
Shemot.
Yeah, but
Yay.
who said that? Oh, Avi.
Shalom, Avi.
Unmute yourself. Shemot. Shemot is Exodus, rather. Okay, what's the third one?
Devarim.
No, no.
No.
Va.
No,
It's
the third
va.
one. No. What's the third one, everybody? Come on, guys.
Vaikra.
Yeah, I heard it. Vayikra, right, Leviticus. And the next one, who said it already? Yeah. Right. And the last one? What's the last one? In English, it's Deuteronomy. What's it in Hebrew, everybody?
Devarim.
Yes, whoever said that. Absolutely. It means words. Well, very good, everyone. Now, I have mentioned this before. I even told a story about it. What is the parchment called? The parchment, you know, the what it's written on. What's the Torah written on?
Parchment.
What's it called in Hebrew? That's not easy. And I told my story. I'll tell my story again. I had a friend in college. Her name was Bobby Claff. And my name was Falk, my maiden name. And Falk and Claff Falk is Claff spelled backwards. So the kosher parchment is called a Claff. Would you believe? Okay. People ask the question, how many words are in the Torah? Does anyone have any, just shout out a number. How many words do you think are in the Torah?
5,935.
How many? Say it again.
5,935.
You're under quite a few.
I seem to remember around 300,000.
Nope, that's too high.
20,000.
20,000.
79,976 words. And the only reason I know it is I have it written down. Okay, how many verses are in the Torah? How many verses? You know, like the first verse of Bereshit, the second verse.
I'm gonna go somewhere around 2,000.
What?
Around 2,000?
More than that.
35,000.
Nope, too high. I'll give you the answer.
25,000.
5,845 verses.
Can we have a recount?
You want to do it? That's okay with me.
Say that.
Okay. What's the exact middle of the Torah, anybody? In fact, we're gonna have some.
My portion, Carol.
Your portion is very close. Noah's portion is Kedoshim. The middle of the Torah is Leviticus 8, verse 8, which is very close to Noah's portion, which is Kedoshim. How long does it take to write a Torah? Come on, guys.
1 year.
18 months.
A 1 year is closer. Now, can I tell you my Zadie Misa story? A Baba Misa is when your grandmother tells you something. A Zadie Misa is when your grandfather tells you something. My grandfather told me that the Torah, the writing of the Torah is like the birth of the gestation of a baby. And at that time, you know, a long time ago, under 7 months, the baby probably wouldn't live. And over 9 months, the babies wouldn't probably live. This is how they determined how long it would take to write the Torah. So if a scribe is very fast, he waits until 7 months and writes the last word. And if the guy is very slow writing, the scribe, very holy man, then he hurries up and writes the end of Deuteronomy at the end of 9 months. Now, you can believe that or not, but it's almost a year that it takes to write a Torah. And this is what my grandfather said about it. The other thing about writing a Torah is the ink. What's the ink made of?
Grasshopper blood?
Well, they say it's made of powdered gall nuts, copper sulfate crystals, gum arabic, and water. But you know what I found out? It's written with a quill, but you guys know that. There is a special quill for writing the word Adonai, Yud He Vav He. I did not know. I knew that the scribe would go and wash his hands and say a prayer and then write the word Adonai in a special script. But I didn't know that they also used a separate quill. So, and where do the quills come from? Anybody?
Turkeys.
Anybody?
Turkeys.
Come on, guys. Where do you think the quills come from?
A bird.
Turkeys.
Where?
Somebody said turkey.
Yes, a kosher bird, usually a goose or a turkey. And what about the parchment? Where does that come from?
Isn't it
Deer.
cowhide?
Or lamb.
A what? Not
Isn't
a
it
deer.
cowhide?
Kosher
Cowhide.
animal. Like a cow.
Cowhide.
Yeah, cowhide, a kosher animal. Absolutely. Hey, you guys are good. And it's written in special square script. And I have the name of the script here. I didn't know it. I'm not asking you. It's called Katav Ashuri. It's a special script just for the Torah. And you will notice that when the rabbi does that, that there's a special square script for the Torah. And do you know how many parchment skins do you think it takes to make a Torah?
No, 16?
How many? You're close. It takes about 80. Would you believe?
Wow.
Yeah. And also, notice I have a piece of paper here. A column, how many columns are there for each skin, approximately? And the column is called an amudim.
For each skin?
3. No, 3 columns per skin. Yes. So you can imagine that, and there are, it says here how many columns. It's 248 columns. So you can imagine you need 80 skins for 248 columns. And each skin has, well, you divide by 3, approximately 3. And of course, the Torah is written by a very, very holy man, a scribe, who prays before he does this. And it takes him, as we've said, almost a year to do it.
And there are women scribes also.
There are what?
Women scribes.
I didn't hear.
Women.
Women
Oh.
scribes.
Well, there probably are now women scribes. Right. I'm sure there are. That would be wonderful. Gosh, I'd love to learn how to do that, actually. Now, the rabbi told me something very interesting yesterday, that the last letter of Deuteronomy, it's the word Yisrael, so the last letter is a lamed, and the first letter of Bereshit is a bet, because Bereshit, and lamed, bet, or vet together makes the word lev, and that means, Noah said it, that means heart. So we read Torah and study Torah with our hearts, all our hearts. I do have something, that I read in the paper today. It was written by somebody who wasn't even Jewish. And he said, the Jewish people continue to exist because the covenant is the foundation and the glue of the relationship with one another, with the past, with the future. And the more faithful we are to God's word, the more certain we can be of our survival. He was talking about the Torah, the heart of our faith. When all else fails, it is the Torah that sustains us. That was
Beautiful.
in the paper today.
Beautiful. Thank you, Carolee.
You're very welcome. Next year, I'm going to test you on this. This is fun. Thank you.
Hey, Bob,
Are you ready?
we're ready.
I mute myself. Okay. Baruch hu et Adonai hamavorach, Baruch Adonai hamavorach leolam vaed, Baruch ata Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et torato, Baruch ata Adonai noten haTorah.
We start with Shemot, Exodus, with Anya Peterson. This was her Torah portion.
Amen. Vayelech איש מבית לוי, ויקח את בת לוי. ותחר האישה, ותלד בן, ותראה אותו כי טוב הוא, ותתנהו 3 ירחים, ולא יכלה עוד התינוק, ותיקח לו תיבת גומא, ותחמרה וחמר ובזפת, ותשם בה את הילד, ותשם בה סוף על שפת היור, ותתעצב אחותו מרחוק לדעה מה יעשה לו, ותרד בת פרעה לרחוץ על היור, ונערותיך הולכות על יד היור, ותראה את התיבה בתוך הסוף, ותשלח את אמתה ותיקחך.
Thank you. Then we have Noah Lavi chanting Kedoshim from Vayikra, Leviticus, and this was also Noah's Torah portion. And she also does this on Yom Kippur.
וידבר אדוני אל משה לאמור, דבר כל העד את בני ישראל, ואמרת אליהם קדושים תהיו, כי קדוש אני אדוני אלוהיכם. השעימו באוויר תיראו, ואת שבתותי תשמעו, אני אדוני אלוהיכם. אל תפנו אל האלילים ואלוהי מסכה, לא תעשו לכם.
Thank you. Thanks. And next we have Haley Mangus, and she will chant from Bemidbar, Numbers, and this should be familiar to all of you, every single one of you.
Amen. למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Very nice. Thank you. Wasn't that all familiar? And now the very end of Deuteronomy, Devarim, will be chanted by Jim Orens.
Okay. ולא קם נביא עוד בישראל כמשה, אשר ידעו אדוני פנים אל פנים, לכל האותות והמופתים, אשר שלחו אדוני לעשות בארץ מצרים, לפרעה ולכל עבדיו ולכל ארצו, ולכל היד החזקה, ולכל המורא הגדול, אשר עשה משה לעיני כל ישראל. Now, I would like everybody to stay muted, but if you would like, please chant the words Chazak, Chazak, v'nitchazek. Chazak, Chazak, v'nitchazek.
Thank you. Thanks, Jim. Very nice. And then we go right to Clarissa Mangus to chant the very, very beginning of Bereshit, so that we read and chant Torah continuously this year and every year. And this was also Clarissa's Torah portion.
Amen. Bereshit bara Elohim et hashamayim ve'et haaretz v'haaretz hayta tohu vavohu v'choshech al pnei tahum v'ruach Elohim rachefet al pnei hamayim v'yomer Elohim yehi or vayhi or Vayar Elohim et ha'or ki tov, vayavdel Elohim ben ha'or uben ha'choshech, vayikra Elohim la'or yom, v'la'choshech kara laila, vayhi erev vayhi voker yom echad.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu torat emet v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Thank you all. This was beautiful. You all did a phenomenal job. Thank you all very, very, very much. It was beautiful.
Rabbi has to change microphones.
Oh, okay.
You can change video cameras because she was doing one of theirs.
No.
Thank you, Carolee. Thank you, Carolee.
Oh, you're welcome.
Everybody, and to Carolee for training all our wonderful young people and older people as well. We're now going to take a moment with the Torah virtually out to offer a blessing of healing to those in need of healing, whether of mind, of body, or of spirit. We think of congregants and friends and family of congregants: Jonathan Davidson, Brenda Oppenheim, Kenny Hayes, Randy Rubin, Ben Henderson, Rabbi Steve Robbins, Gloria Mangus, Steve Lux, David Kurland, Robin Kurland, Sandy Schneider, Jan Judman, Emily Pasquarelli, Julie Lapidus, Irv Richards, Pamela Mangus, Barbara Brandt, Johnny Sikat, Aharon Pincus. And if you'd like to add names in the chat, I will be happy to read them. Patty Podner, Rokio Offstein, Amy Morton, Robert Jones, Babette Cooper, Robert Doctor, Diane Grassel, Robert Helmbrecht,
Friend of ours.
Elsa Raineri,
Got a cancer.
Oh, really?
Mhm.
That's very bad.
President Trump, Melania Trump, Sheila Winston, Michael Greenstein, Elaine Burke, Richard McCott, John Johnson, Myrna Waltzer, Roberta Abrams, Ruth and Sandy Landis, Ron Jones, Saul Eppelbaum. What was the name of the person you mentioned, Susie? Susie? So please join us.
Albrecht Senior.
Gary Wolf.
Any other names?
Is Heshi okay?
Yeah.
Please join us in the Misha Baroff, the prayer for healing.
Yes.
It's hard for Susan, for his daughter.
Her.
מי שברך אבותינו Avraham, Yitzhak veYaakov. Mi sheberach imotenu, Sarah, Rivka, Leah, v'Rachel. May the one who blessed our mothers, may the one who blessed our fathers, hear our prayer, 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 and bless us as well. Bless us with the power of your healing. Bless us with the power of your hope. May our hearts be filled with understanding and strengthened by the power of your love. Bless us with the vision for tomorrow. Help us to reach out to those in pain. May the warmth of friendship ease our sorrow. Give us courage, give us faith, show us the way. Mi sheberach avotenu, mi sheberach imotenu. Hear our prayer, 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 and bless us as well. Hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, and bless us as
Simchat Torah marks the very end of the high holidays, and so we change our Torah covers from the white covers, suggesting purity and cleansing that we've done over the high holidays, and we change back to our blue covers.
Eitz Chaim hi lama chazikim ba v'tomcheha meushar diracheha darechei noam v'chol netivoteha shalom. Hashivenu Adonai Elecha Venashuva Chadesh Chadesh Yameinu Chadesh Yameinu
So I'd like to thank several people. First of all, of course, again, Jory and Morris for doing more than anybody ever expected for the high holidays, and for not only doing editing and audio and video editing, but also singing and playing various instruments, and doing it with great pleasure. And it was really enjoyable to work with them. I want to thank Cantor Bob for joining us for the high holidays and stepping in, and he's going to continue to do more services with us. The pictures you saw for the Hakafa were partly Cantor Bob's, partly Morris Maduro's, and that beautiful panorama at the end was done by yours truly. But it was edited together by Jory and Morris, or maybe one of them, I don't remember. So again, thank you so very much for all that you did for us. I want to remind you that there's still time to make a donation to an organization to help people who are hungry. Eileen Stein, as always, is very conscious of all the people in our city who are hungry and has always either collected food or made arrangements for us to donate food. She also brings a lot of stuff to Arlington Temporary. So please, try to make a donation to one of the organizations that's in our somebody's having a good time out there. So we thank Eileen for everything that she always does. So there's some good things coming up. As you know, there's an election coming along, and I hope that everybody has registered to vote and is planning to vote. It's very important. And also, please make sure you vote early, because as you know, the post office has had some delays. And if you don't vote early, your ballot might not be counted. And if there's anything you can do to help in other states, whether it's making phone calls or there's some texting going on to help people register in other states, the Religious Action Center of our Reform movement has all sorts of resources for you to get involved still now until the very last day. There's other stuff going on as well. So if you need some information, you can contact me. I'll be happy to share with you what all the options are. It's a very important election, as you know, and we really want to make sure that every vote gets counted and everybody votes. If you are unclear about some of the propositions on our ballot this year, this coming Thursday, Joan Donahue, who's the president of the League of Women Voters, is going to talk about a number of propositions and try to clear up for us what they're all about. Some of them are sometimes written in a way that, you vote a different way from what you think you should be voting. So please try to join us. And soon we're also going to have Torah study again. We're in the book of Deuteronomy, and we're going to continue studying that. And Doug Moss is going to offer a series of classes on the Jewish language. So please join us for that as well. Next week, Elliot Levine is going to do music for us. And the week after, Jim Orens will be doing music. And finally, because people had such a good time last week introducing us to their dogs, we're going to do a Shabark service the first Friday in November. As opposed to a bark mitzvah, we're doing a Shabark service. So please bring your dogs. If you have a cat instead, or you also have a cat, or if you have a bird or two, bring them. We'll offer blessings for your animals. And I think that'll make everybody happy to see all these wonderful animals. Does anybody have any other announcements? Going once, going twice. By the way, very exciting.
Rabbi, I do. Lori.
Okay, Lori, go ahead.
I called Dr. Martin Schlesselberg for High Holy Days, and he said he's an MD, and he said that if anybody needs medical advice, that he's available. And Andrea and our new administrator and the rabbi both know how to get in touch with him.
Thank you, Lori. That's great. And he's also part of our COVID committee, which has set up the protocols for how we are trying to operate here under these very difficult circumstances.
Oh, Rabbi?
Yes.
I don't know how many people are interested in this, but the Mahjong tournament in January has been canceled.
Unfortunately. So somebody was not able to get on the Yizkor service today that was done on Zoom and asked, well, why couldn't we do it in person since there are only 12 people? It's still not safe to be inside because of the airborne nature of this virus.
How come Amy asked me?
What do you mean? What do you mean, Susie? Who just said that? Was that Susie?
Yeah,
What was the question?
I didn't have a question. Amy Pearlstein asked me, how would I feel going back to the temple, I guess. I said, when it's safe, yes.
It's not safe right now. Certainly,
No.
people who came for Yizkor, for the most part, are in the more vulnerable group, first of all. The sanctuary at this point does not have the air filtration that we need to make it safe. And I'm not going to, put people's health in jeopardy. So,
Right.
At some point we can do maybe, well, what we're talking about doing is a parking lot service.
Mhm.
So we need to get everybody together to do that. I mean, the people who like Jory and Morris and Bob and, all the people and Adam Pearlstein and Eric, we have to get everybody together and organize it, and we'll do a parking lot service. Also, I mean, we can do outdoor things where we're separated by 6 feet and wearing masks. And we have done a couple of things like that. Like we had the Tashlich service we did in the park. But, other than that, I do not think it's safe to be inside. So I do not think it's a good idea. We do not have any protocols set up for that yet. So, it's up to the COVID committee and also to the individuals who feel or don't feel safe being inside. And, somebody mentioned earlier that schools were opening, elementary schools. In many cases where schools have opened, they've had to close again because people have gotten sick. So this is not a good thing to do.
Not looking for trouble.
No.
No. So anybody else? Okay, let's continue with the Aleinu.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגור עלינו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסר הארץ, ומשה ויקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינתו זו בגבי מרומים, הוא אלוהינו אין עוד. אמת מלכנו אפס זולתו, ככתוב בתורתו, וידעת היום והשבות אל לבבך, כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים ממעל, ועל הארץ מתחת, אין עוד. ככתוב בתורתך, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ. ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
We take a moment now to think of those who are no longer with us. May their memories be for a blessing. We offer our condolences to Stephen Tick for the passing of his good friend, Sean Donnelly. Is anybody here in Shiva, Shloshim, or the first year of mourning and would like to mention a name or put it in the chat? John Alfervik, Helen Iniguez.
Werner Kopel, Arnie Geller.
Adele Lucas. Robert Berlin.
Thank you.
Evelyn Nathanson. And we're also observing yard sites this Shabbat for Pearl Pasternak, Robert Exler, Florence R. Marcus, Fanny Marcus, Rasha Ramick, Edith McCott, Evelyn White, Frank Carton, Esther Irk, Ray Held, Inez Band, Velma Dyer, Phil Newhouse, Edna Blyer, Jacques Derrida, Emil Doctor, Samuel Frankel, Jacqueline Brown, Jenny Silverglate, Cecile Katz, Milton Doctor, Herbert Barnett, Gloria Birkenwald, Leonard Gardner, Carol Ann Bauman, Samuel Wasserman, Joseph Goodman. If there are any other names, please share them in the chat or unmute. Javan Eli Broach, Paul Aaron Lewin, first year. Arlene Cohen-Tick. Ruth Bader Ginsburg. So I know there's not consensus on unmuting ourselves for the Mourner's Kaddish, but I think it's meaningful to enough people that I'm going to suggest that you unmute for the Mourner's Kaddish. If it's too loud, if it's disruptive, you can turn your volume down, and hopefully that will help. So please join me in the Mourner's Kaddish. Gadal,
Almad Ibrakurute, Yam Melchite, Israel, Kobe, Israel,
Bereave, Amru, Amen.
Amen.
Say shalom bimroma.
Shalom Rama.
Amen.
May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn and comfort to all who are bereaved, as together we say.
Amen.
Closing song is Adon Olam, joyous song.
Please mute yourselves.
אחרי ככלות הכל לבדו ימלוך נורא והוא היה והוא הווה והוא יהיה בתפארה היי די 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 האדון עולם אשר מלך היי די 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 בטרם כל יציר נברא היי די 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 לידסה בחפץ הכל היי די 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 אז המלך שמו נקרא היי די 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 והוא אחד ואין שני להמשיל לו להחמירה בלי ראשית בלי תכלית ולא העוז והמשרה היי די 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 האדון עולם אשר מלך היי די 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 בטרם כל יציר נברא היי די 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 לידסה בחפץ הכל היי די 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 אז המלך שמו נקרא היי די 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 צרה, והוא ניסי ומנוס לי, מנת כוסי ביום אקרא, היי די 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 די. האדון עולם אשר מלך, היי די 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 די, בטרם כל יציר נברא, היי די 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 די, לידע וחפצה הכל, היי די 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 די, אזי מלך שמו נקרא, היי די 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 די. בידו אבקיד רוחי, בייתי שן ביעירה, ואם רוחי כבייתי, אדוני לי ולא יירא, היי די 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 די. האדון עולם אשר מלך, היי די 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 די, ערב כל יציר נברא, היי די 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 די, לינסה בחפצה הכל, היי די 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 די, אזי מלך שמו נקרא, היי די 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 די.
I want to also thank Dory and Morris for their behind the scenes work at these services, feeding the videos and the slides and everything. I usually make the slides for the service, but I still have an old system on my computer. So Dory has to take each one of my slides and make them into a widescreen. So that's all extra work and I appreciate it. We will conclude with the motzi.
Motzi lechem min haaretz, we give thanks to God for bread. Our voices rise in song together as our joyful prayer is said. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, motzi lechem min haaretz.
Shabbat Shalom and Chag Sameach. Hope you all have a great weekend. If anybody wants to hang around to chat, you're more